Hello, everyone, and I am Andra Annette, and welcome to Building Community. And today I have Annamaria Berek with me. So she is a mom of two girls, and after healing from her own narcissistic relationship, she decided to empower women in a different way. So she helps them heal emotionally and financially and really helps them work on that inner connectivity, that visibility, that self-confidence. So I'm very excited to talk to her today. So please help me welcome Annamaria Berek. Hello.
Thank you, Andrea. I'm happy to be here.
It's a pleasure. So it's Andra. So doesn't just call me Andra. Um,
Okay.
yeah, everyone says Andrea, but so
Andrea, it is. Got it.
So tell me a little bit more about yourself, what that was like, because you've been in business, you have like 18 years experiencing helping people with what you do. So, um, what made you navigate through those? Something has to happen in our life for us to realize that the relationships that we're in are not working, right? That we
Yeah.
kind of hit a wall there and we're not growing, and that these people might be narcissistic. So help me understand what that was like for you so the audience has a better picture of who you are.
No problems. So actually, let me just rephrase something here because my starting point, because I started in different industries with different businesses 18 years ago. So my starting point was to be around my children. So that's where my first daughter was born. And I just didn't want to go back to the 9 to 5 office life and let her be raised by someone else. So it was always my priority to become a mother. And why it was so important for me to become a mother, what I defined what being a mother means to me. Because I didn't have a good experience growing up. So the narcissistic relationship, from my childhood with my mom, which will end on a much better note. But at that point of life, I just knew that I didn't want to become her. So it was really important for me to pay full attention and really spend quality time with my children. So that's what made me stay home. But I always felt a burning desire to. I'm really social, and I love helping people. So I always felt a burning desire to be with people and build a community. So that's what I started throughout completely different businesses. But later on, I also discovered about 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago, how important it was versus focusing on my circumstances and what happened to me in the past to focus on what I want from life, what I like, what I don't like, what is my passion, what is my purpose, what do I feel in alignment with. So I discovered that I lived like a shadow to myself. I had no self-worth. I was a people pleaser. I was a validation seeker. I was always doubting myself. I never felt good enough. And I quickly discovered, starting my latest business, the Red Hill Boss, that it's like a universal language between women for one reason or other, but we all feel not good enough. We always try to prove ourselves. And I dig down to the roots. Yes, it's coming from the most personal relationships, whether it's with our parents or partners, spouses, or other influential people, other family members, or even workplaces. But also, society is built wrong because we were kind of um, forced into a role of being in the background. Just our purpose was to be being a stay-home mom and support the career of our husbands and all these things. So from every channel, practically from the day we are born, the message is coming: you are just a girl, right? So that puts the shadow on everything so badly that we don't even dare to shine or show our true colors. We don't even define to ourselves what we are capable of. We don't see our own beauty and own strengths. And that's where everything got so diluted in our lives, including our businesses. And that's why I'm so passionate about helping, especially female entrepreneurs, because it's a big role itself to be a woman. And on top, we add motherhood. And we are, of course, daughter, sister, and other relatives to family members, and we are everything to everyone practically. And then on top of that, we add entrepreneurship. So it's really hard to make a business and take it to the next level and the next level with this background when we have to be, first of all, everything to everybody. And then we come with this embedded mindset that we are just a girl, we are not good enough, we have to prove ourselves. And we are told what to do, what not to do. So when with all my clients, we go down to the deep root cause of the issues they are facing, whether it's delaying their launch of their course, or posting or telling their own stories, whatever it is they are not doing, there is a very deep reason behind it why they are not doing it. So I never moved to marketing first. We always address the core issue, why they are not in their business where they want to be. They are capable, they could make it happen, but something is just weighing them down.
So I don't think it's just women, that feel that way. We are taught to look outside ourselves from childhood. It's not just
Mm,
a woman thing. It's
mm,
it's generational stories that are passed down to all children, whether you're a woman or a man. I don't
mm,
deny that women are expected to take those roles, but women have been in business for decades now, so this is not new. Um, it might be deep-seated emotions and not really doing that inner work for years, feeling like that they weren't enough. But
mm.
that's kind of part of taking care of yourself, looking in and taking care of yourself. My husband was trying to tell me something. I was like, no. Um, so, um, so I think there are so many people out there, not just women, who don't feel like they're validated or good enough, and they're constantly looking for that outside validation. Do
Mm.
I think that women fight harder for that validation? Yes, but not because you know, um, women are not necessarily just the home care makers anymore. There are men that stay home
Yeah,
with the children and women that work. So,
yeah,
different countries are different like that because there are some countries, Anna Maria, that will always, women will walk behind the men, that the women are just viewed very different, right? So,
yeah,
um, we have to empower ourselves and stick up for what we feel is right, right? So I'm glad you're out there helping women. There's definite need for that. But I think that some men could probably use you too, because there's a lot of
look,
people
I
out there that are not feeling like they're enough. But a lot of
yeah,
times when people don't want to um, get into business, sometimes it's fear because they don't have the experience. It's not just because they're women, they don't have that business experience, they don't know what to expect, and they like that steady paycheck. So being an
mm,
entrepreneur is not for everyone, despite what everybody's
yeah,
saying
of
on
course, of
social,
course.
you know.
And if I may add, when I compare women to men, for me, it's never about competing or saying who's better or worse. I believe that we could be like yin and yang and really complement each other qualities really well. But for that, at first, women don't need to be perceived as hysterical or too emotional or too loud or too bossy, and these things. And unfortunately, the statistics show, the woman's history in business, how much behind we are just given the opportunity to have our businesses and have our own bank accounts and cards. So this is where the fight is for me, against the system, which is faulty and programmed, everyone to act certain ways. So this is where we have to grow a really big ways, just to bring that equality up to date, because that's not what's happening. The reality is that women get heaps less funding, in the first place in business, just for one example, and workplaces, the gender gap, the pay gap, and all those things. So unfortunately, we have a lot to learn, but until we turn a blind eye to it or find excuses, nothing is going to change. And it's a big thing, of course, to fight against the system, because it's not like approaching and convincing one person and things will get better, possibly. It's something that is so complex, but every little move and ripple we can create, that will contribute to the larger cause.
But I think women are shattering that glass ceiling. And as long
Mm,
as we see it as a ceiling, it will never be attainable. So if
mm,
we put that obstacle in our way, this in the system and all the things that are wrong, then we're creating more tension. So there's not alignment, right? We're not allowing ourselves to align, but we're seeing a problem instead of a solution, right? So I don't believe that I have any limits, just because I'm a woman and we may live technically in a man's world, but you know how that song goes, right? So,
yeah, that's important not to. Yeah, that's my philosophy as well. We are not defined by our circumstances. We define our circumstances. So we can make massive shifts, and that's my teaching as well, to create our own ecosystem. So we are not dependent on the economy and the government, whatever they are doing. We need to build our own. When I was building my business, I gained the most clients when everyone said that, oh, everything is hopeless and the economy is done, and, it's not even worth trying, which is, it can be true if you make it true. So it's really important to just really do our own thing and stay in our lane. Of course, sometimes will be better, sometimes will be worse, but it doesn't mean we just have to go with the mainstream, what we are made to believe. We can create our own life. And it's really important for, once again, even in a really good relationship, I believe that the two parties should be individual, and when they unite, that should be a bonus and everything that it comes with. But I heard so many stories where, let's say, the husband passed away and he was the main bread earner, and there was a big, big shift and big issue for the wife and the mother to transition to a different role to provide for the family. And I think that's where it's set up wrongly in general. And there are so many judgment when moms try to build their businesses. Oh, you are not a good mother because you are taking that time away from your children, and you can't do both, and all these old beliefs, which is wrong, because we can do more than just being mothers and wives. It doesn't discredit the other two roles, right? So these beliefs are so important to shift. And if everyone can individually provide and look after themselves and the family, just imagine, when you double it up with two people uniting, and it's a beautiful thing.
my dog's in the room. I heard her yipe. So, so, my dog is never far away from me. Um, I agree with you very, very wholeheartedly. And there does need to create that shift in beliefs in society. And I think it's very unfair that women have always had to be stay-at-home moms. Many women haven't. I was raised by a single mother. So My dad died very early. So I get that whole concept, but I think that women have to be aligned in themselves and find that center and realize that nothing is not attainable, right? There's always
Mm,
going to be people, that are not going to be okay. When I first went online, people said, you're a professional. What are you doing? You know, um, a lot of people didn't get it. You do this for a living. Why are you doing this online? So a lot of people didn't get it, but I knew it was something that I wanted to do for me. So I didn't
yes.
listen to the cast of
Mm,
characters that had their opinions. And
yeah.
as women, we are very strong. We do raise children. We birth them, we raise them, and we raise those men that are those parents alongside of us, right? So we are the backbone of a lot of families, a lot of businesses, and a lot of things that are happening in society. We are the backbone for a lot of people.
Mm,
So
yeah,
I don't think we
absolutely.
give ourselves enough credit because we
Mm,
have so many jobs on a day-to-day basis, right?
mm,
So I think that's where the shift needs to come for the women who are going into business, that they don't think that they have the capabilities or the qualities to launch a business, but honestly, they've been in business for years. Just they just
yeah.
didn't call it that because they've been
Yeah.
multitasking and pretty much running a little mini empire at home for all these years.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just
Yeah.
moving those life skills to something for themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And like any skill from life can be implemented into business. For example, my marathon runs, I learned so much from it that I could implement in my business, the resilience, the resourcefulness, the mindset, the plan, hiring the right coach and having the right training, not just running, strength training and everything, and getting through the bad days and adjusting to injuries maybe. And these skills are also useful in business as well. So, but once again, this inner work is so important because no marketing strategy will lift your business if you don't have the right mindset.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
when I started working on myself, and these clients who come into my world and they have issues, that they may not be even aware of it. Just like you said, it's just so hard to do um, all aspects of a business. Things will bubble up that we don't even expect because, we just maybe suppressed it. We didn't have to deal with them at the time, but it will definitely bring it up. So once we do that inner work and shift our beliefs and see our strengths and abilities, that will shift everything in a business. And then we can move on to the branding and marketing and sales and how to build a team, how to multiply the income and all these things. Or just from a very personal example to finish the chain of thoughts we touched base at the beginning, my relationship with my mom. We took a little break from each other because it was really painful, every interaction we had. And then during that time, it allowed both of us, as I learned a little bit later, to grow and reevaluate the situation. And then I was ready to reach out to her again when, as the universe provides, a message popped up in my mailbox, from her with photos and everything. And from that point on, when we have a video call or when we chat, it's all about just really the joy that I always seeked, and missed from my relationship, that there was absolutely nothing from the past that could shadow what we have now. So we're just so happy, to talk and have a laugh and share things about our lives. And it just means that we both grew as a person because it wasn't possible a couple of years ago, right? And if you take this example into business, once you have that breakthrough with your branding, you know who you serve, how you teach them, what are your methods, what is your mission, what is your vision, and what is your story behind the scenes. When it all comes together, that's when it's just a really, really big shift to your business.
Yeah, I've been in business for a while, so I can definitely relate. But I think that your relationship with your mother improved because your relationship with yourself improved, right?
Mm,
So we don't allow and forgive until we allow and forgive ourselves, right?
mm,
So it's that inner work. If you take care of yourself and you do that inner work, your business will improve. All of your relationships will improve, right? So that
absolutely.
is part of that process, you know. I get it. I had a lot of inner work to do, Anna Marie.
Mm.
Trust me. I had a lot of trauma in my life, and really, it does come up. It comes up in business. It comes up in other relationships, other experiences. So, if you could tell someone now that was just starting out in business, um, like one thing that you think would help them the most, what would that be?
Just don't try to do it yourself. I resisted it for so long. I thought, oh, I had done businesses before, and I'm a well-educated, intelligent person. I can figure this one out as well. And I was just running around in circles, both with the mindset, and all the strategy and technical things for my business until, I gave in and I saw the value of having a mentor or enrolling for a business program, whichever is more suitable for the individual needs and the learning style and the situation of, where they are in the business. But it's just so important not to try to do it alone, because it's not just the money that you could earn, uh, you know, but also the growth you can make. So if you have, let's say you have a goal to reach $10,000 a month, and you are resisting a training or mentoring, and it won't happen the next 6 months, you think that you are losing $60,000, but actually you are losing more because you could grow so much in that 6 months that you could earn heaps more money. And of course, it's not just the dollar figures, because most people I work with and interact with is the purpose as well, and genuinely helping people. So it has so many positive effects as well that you miss out until your business is where not where you want it to be.
Yeah. Some people are in business for years, but the average coach online makes about $12,000, despite
Mm,
everything that you hear out there, between 12
yeah.
and $50,000, right?
Mm,
A year, not a month. So
yeah.
that is the statistics. So a lot of people say they're making $100,000 a month, and they're not.
Mm,
Unless you're Tony Robbins, that's not the average. So, but I like that you said to ask for that help. But because if you're not willing to invest in yourself, then why should someone invest in you and purchase
yeah.
your program if you're not willing to grow yourself and invest in yourself? I totally agree with that. It's
Yeah.
very good insight. So if they wanted to get in touch with you, to work with you, how could they reach you?
LinkedIn is my LinkedIn and Facebook are my best place. So Annamaria Berek, the Red Hill Boss. So just Google me, slide in my DM, or send an email to hello@theredhillboss.com, and we can have a conversation. I can send you a Calendly link to set up a half an hour chat where we assess whether we are for each other or not, what's holding you back, where you are in the business, where you want to go, and finding the best solution if we are a good fit.
Okay, I love that. So we're going to stop here for today. I want to thank you so much for coming in. I think you offered so much value to our audience, and you're always welcome to be on any one of the other shows. I think you could add value in so much of the shows, and I want to thank you for coming in today. I want to thank the audience for coming in and meeting with myself and Anna Marie today, and have a wonderful night.
Thank you, Andra, and thank you everyone for listening.